probably know a lot about Volkswagen, maybe that it was founded in 1937 by the German Labor Front, or that these days they're known for owning ultra-high-end supercars like Bentley, Lamborghini, and Porsche to name a few. You probably don't know a lot about the Scout brand. Like that, it was an all-terrain family vehicle that was one of the first SUVs, though they weren't called that then. It was a hit. But in 2021, these two incredibly different companies announced they were merging. In today's video, an American company and a German company meet for business, and the Scout brand for a new electric off-road vehicle is born. But wait a minute, Volkswagen? I thought International makes highway trucks. Does this mean that Volkswagen is going to be getting into the truck business? Allow me to get you up to speed if you missed the news at first, or if you need a refresher. Volkswagen is getting into the electric off-roader market, and as part of this move, they are bringing back an iconic nameplate, the Scout. VW obtained the Scout moniker in 2021 when its Stratton Truck subsidiary merged with Navistar, the parent company of International. International is the company that created tractors, some work trucks, and 18-wheelers, among other vehicles. In essence, the Scout moniker will return to American roads and trails by 2026, courtesy of the Volkswagen Group. The new firm will debut with an electric SUV and pickup truck in an effort to combine VW's push toward an electric future with Scout's history of creating robust adventure vehicles. And this isn't just a money-grabbing scheme. Scott Coe, the new CEO of Volkswagen's Scout brand, has a true soft spot for vintage Internationals. In fact, he loves them so much that he attended the Indiana Harvester Homecoming. It's an enthusiast event hosted in one of the company's historic engineering sites in Fort Wayne, and Coe showed up to express his support for Harvester fans. So, in essence, Volkswagen just recently acquired control of the Scout brand when its commercial vehicle division, Stratton, merged with Navistar. Navistar is the company that was formed when International Harvester went bankrupt in 1985, and it still owns the Scout brand. I know that sounds a little confusing, but to make sense of these business shenanigans, VW owns Stratton, Stratton now owns Navistar, and Navistar owns Scout. Having only signed the contract a few months ago, any plans to construct a new Scout would still be in their infancy. But before we can understand why this is such a big deal, we must first study a bit of history. First, we need to go back to 2017. At that time, Navistar and company called Volkswagen made a deal. This company, which is now known as Stratton SE, bought a small share of Navistar. After that, in 2021, Stratton bought out Navistar's remaining shareholders and turned the company into an entirely owned subsidiary. So, Navistar trucks are VW trucks. Of course, that still doesn't clarify anything. The history of Navistar goes back to 1831 and is long and complicated. Cyrus McCormick founded the company to produce wooden threshers, or grain reapers, which were pulled by horses to harvest grain. His business evolved into McCormick Harvesting Machine Co. McCormick joined with Deering Harvester and other businesses in 1902 to become International Harvester. Oh my, that's a lot.
Oh my God!
In the next few decades, the company became one of the best-known truck brands, and I do mean gigantic. In 1904, IH manufactured its first gasoline-powered commercial tractors. The company then discovered that farmers were removing seats from their cars to transport goods. To fill this need, it debuted the Autowagon, an early form of the modern pickup truck in 1909. Fast forward to the 1930s, and International trucks were being used for big projects like the construction of the Hoover Dam and even carrying troops in World War II. In the 1960s, the company started selling Scout vehicles, including pickups and SUVs, which were popular until the 1980s. And even though they sold off the agricultural side of their business, they continued to produce school buses, Ford engines and trucks, and General Motor Class 4-5 trucks. Today, International Trucks is still going strong with its brand and also owns Fleet-Right Truck Parts and MWM Motors in Brazil. And did you know that without the International Scout, there would not be a Ford Bronco? I mean, without the Scout, we wouldn't have the iconic 90s Bronco chase scene with O.J. Simpson. So thank you, International Scout. The Scout was released in 1961, and it was an all-terrain family vehicle that was a huge hit. Ford saw its success and decided to launch the Bronco, and Chevy followed with the Blazer. In 1971, International updated the Scout with the Scout II. And let me tell you, this thing was a beast. It could take on any terrain, even mountains and rivers. I mean, it was basically a tank with 4 wheels. There were several different versions of the Scout, including the 800B, which was the most common one with a truck-like body and removable roof. But there was also a truck version and the Traveler, which was fully enclosed. Basically, if you needed to carry something, the Scout had you covered. Unfortunately, by the time disco music was dying out, so was the Scout. After 19 years of production, International stopped selling the Scout altogether. But it has lived on as a cult vehicle and is still sought after on auction sites. And just like disco, it looks like the Scout is making a comeback. VW has recently confirmed plans to bring back the Scout as its own off-road EV brand in 2026, along with a pickup truck and a rugged SUV.
The return of the Scout name has been rumored for a while now, and according to a recent report from the Wall Street Journal, VW is aiming to sell 250,000 Scout-branded vehicles per year in America at a $40,000 price point instead of $70,000. That's insane!
Shut up and take my money!
And when the Scouts do come back, they'll be fully electric. The initial design sketches show a crew cab pickup with a short bed and a 4-door SUV. I can already see myself cruising down the highway with one of these bad boys. Even though these are just illustrations, they show a rugged design with aggressive tires, large wheels pushed to the corner, and an upright front end that pays homage to the original Scout. We can't wait to see the final product, and if you're not a fan of the Scout, you might be wondering why it's coming back and who asked for it. Well, as we mentioned before, VW is looking to get more electric cars on the road, and they're trying to tap into America's lucrative pickup truck market. VW has done this before with their purchase of Bugatti and the transformation of that brand, and with the success of the ID family of electric cars and the upcoming VW ID Buzz electric bus, it makes sense for them to start an all-electric subsidiary with a name that carries a rich heritage in the truck market. I mean, who doesn't love a good comeback story? Starting a truck brand with a different ethos than VW's current image also makes sense considering America's love for rugged vehicles. Plus, building a car in North America allows buyers to potentially take advantage of the federal electric car tax credit. And let's be real, who doesn't love a discount on a new truck? And speaking of manufacturing, the new Scouts will be built by Foxconn, the Taiwan-based contract manufacturer of the iPhone and other consumer electronics. They're making a big push into auto manufacturing, recently purchasing the Lordstown Motors electric vehicle manufacturing complex in Ohio. So it looks like the Scout is in good hands, and who knows, maybe Foxconn will make a Scout that's compatible with your iPhone.